Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And this video right here is going to be about mental exercising, aka the motherfucker esoteric planet fitness in this motherfucker. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to exercising, this is something that we need to do in a routine and a pattern for the most part to get the best results when it comes to our motherfucker physical. So, when we start to talk about the mental, right, these are people. I always tell you, right? You have two individuals. You have a man and you have a woman. You have a thought and you have a feeling. And a lot of us have more than two individuals. We have a whole onslaught of motherfucking children and things of that nature. But they all need to exercise in some way, shape, or form. And this is getting us into the esoteric planet fitness, aka the whole purpose we be even saying things like motherfucking mental gymnastics and shit like that, where your mind, your people, they're doing all kind of flips, back flips, front flips, twisters, all kind of motherfucker shit, through fire hula hoops and all kind of motherfucker extracurricular energies in the esoteric realm. So that's what this motherfucker video is about. Now we're gonna get into a few of them, and I'm gonna get into more into the live streams and things of that nature. Just in the middle of a lot of things right now, but for the most part, right, I do want to break down a lot of these things because these are things we're supposed to be doing every day, so we can become strength. We can have mental strength, mental stability, have something to stand on. We don't be so weak when it comes to our words or our visions and us going for our goals and us trying to manifest and things of that nature. So keep that in mind. And when you keep a strong hold on being mentally fit, for the most part, this is you dealing with all the emotional weight that you may go through based upon emotional trauma and upbringing and insecurities and a lot of things that we go through based upon our environment, our circumstances, and living conditions. So keep that in mind. So like I said, right, getting into mental exercise, and we're going to cross three parameters right now. We're going to cross the weights, we're going to cross jump roping, which is a part of cardio, but I do want to break down cardio as a separate entity also, so you can kind of get a clear perspective, because we could get into mental gymnastics and all that kind of shit, which is going to be for later videos. And what it actually is, not just a play on words where you're saying this as a philosophical point of view to look at somebody as a psychology trick on when a person is stumbling over something in some way, shape, or form as far as verbal communication. But here's the thing, let's get into motherfucker the weights. So when you at motherfucker the esoteric planet fitness and things of that nature, and you want to get mentally fit, here's the thing, the weights is one of the good things that you can utilize, because here's when you are emotionally lazy, a lot of times it puts you into a situation where you don't even go to the esoteric planet fitness, aka not willing to deal with emotional trauma that keep piling up and then it explodes and things of that nature at the wrong times. So here's the thing, esoteric weights, right? This is the ability to lift old emotional dysfunctions to a high place within you, aka seeing an old situation or view more light, or seeing it in a new light. See, when we start to talk about this kind of light, this is not photons and particles and things of that nature, how they try to get you lost in. It's basically mass, and mass is a different term for a form, but a form that's light in weight. And when a group of things that's light in weight come together, it gives off a spectrum. And this is what we're actually calling as light. So this is something that we're building based upon our mentality and our minds and things of that nature, right? So here's the thing, right? When we start to talk about seeing old situations in a new light, aka that heaviness is no longer heavy to you. It's more light now. It's put into a better perspective. It's something that every time you jump into that emotional trauma or whatever like that, it don't weigh you down. You see what I'm saying? So when you're lifting weights, the more weight you can put on is the more emotional trauma you can use for motivation. The more emotional trauma you can use to get through something. The more emotional trauma you can use to motherfucker filter out some type of mental instability or have some emotional courage. You know what I'm saying? Instead of that emotional trauma, you go into it and then you withdraw. The emotional trauma you go into it, it overwhelms you. The emotional trauma you go into, you get affected and possessed by all the demons that come with it. You see what I'm saying? So that'd be the yin and yang of both polar shifts. But this is the whole purpose of spiritually lifting weights, because for the most part, you're taking, and every time, like I said, this has to be an everyday routine. A lot of us can't handle a lot of shit. A lot of us get overwhelmed very fast. A lot of our lives turn into chaos very fast based upon being enduring too much experiences and things of that nature. So now we get into an emotional flux. So always peep game and keep that in mind. No one is perfect in this motherfucker shit, right? And when I make these videos, I'm not casting stones at y'all. This is something I go through also, so I'm just in a mentality space that, okay, I can point to that as an issue, and then each one teach one. This is what makes us a soul group. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, like I said, Going to the esoteric planet fitness is always important, because when you start to do these things every day, you start to see it as an esoteric planet fitness, and you start to see it as you mentally exercising, and you start to see people sometimes who do mental gymnastics, and when you do mental gymnastics and things of that nature, the benefits of it and the negatives of it. Sometimes you could break your motherfucking spiritual neck doing too many motherfucking mental gymnastics and make a mistake, and then sometimes you could be the motherfucking star of the show with your way of being intellectual, or your way of utilizing verbiage in some way, shape, or form, to the point that you know how to do real cartwheels and flips with your men and women. You know what I'm saying? On that trampoline, or jumping through those fire hula hoops and things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? So, for the most part, this puts us into a situation where when we start to talk about esoteric weights, right? You know, you have to work on this every day. You know what I'm saying? Little by little. Certain shit put to the back burner. You can't deal with all that right now. Every time you go into that space, it block you from everything you're doing in the current state. So some things you have to do, know where your spirit at the moment, and then do it little by little. And before you know it, as long as you know spiritually this is what you're actually doing, and you're actually at a spiritual planet fitness, you're going to start to get better at it. You're going to start to be like, okay, that ain't so depressing no more. Okay, that ain't so heavy no more. Okay, I'm spiritually, aka strong now, because the things I'm carrying as a spirit, aka your mind, your men and women, right? I can carry it now. They don't weigh me down so much anymore. You see what I'm saying? So this will be a form, because everything in reverse. So the weights will be your actual people, you as a spirit. But now you have spiritual strength, and if you want to third dimensionally speak it out, now you having mental clarity, or you having mental stability, or you having mental strength in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I just take it a step further. You know your spirit is inside that light. We don't want to get lost into and then start saying our spirit is consciousness in some way, shape, or form. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's get into jump ropes. Now, jump ropes is this: the ability to not allow a thought or a feeling to drift you away from what you are really trying to do, or a goal, you know what I'm saying, or an intention in some way, shape, or form. Because our intent is where whatever you're focused on, and your intent built a tent over whatever you're focused on, and you get protective over it. So you start to prey on it, and you start to wait for circumstances and situations to be smooth for you to attack it or manifest it in some way, shape, or form, because you are a spiritual predator, and you are sizing up something that you are directing your focus towards, and you're building enough spaceship to be able to travel in that area in some way, shape, or form. But getting into jump ropes, here's the thing: the ability to not allow a thought or a feeling to drift you away from what you originally trying to do, aka mental gymnastics. Once again, jump ropes is part of the mental gymnastics also. You see what I'm saying? So it's like playing mental gymnastics with yourself. You know how we all get those clashes of thoughts that might drift us away, right? And your ability to not allow that thought that was going to drift you away to drift you all the way away. That's like you playing jump ropes in the esoteric realm, and then you keep stumbling. You keep falling and keep tripping because you're not focused on this leg, that leg, this leg, that leg, this thought, this feeling, this thought, this feeling. You know what I'm saying? You're too focused on, as soon as another thought come, you know what I'm saying, you get lost into that, and that thought is on just one leg. And then you ain't jumped that leg fast enough, and then that's when you trip or you fail the goddamn jump roping that everybody doing and shit like that. But for the most part, you got to know when to let go of something. Then you got to know when to put something into play. And then you got to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Therefore, this don't put you in no procrastination energy. Or if you are procrastinating, at least you will be at the esoteric drawing board calculating and for your next move, not procrastinating on a bunch of coming up with a bunch of thoughts and feelings and ideas why you shouldn't even do your first intention in the first place. That's letting the descendants and the sons and the daughters kill the father and Lilith. And you don't want the father and Lilith to die, because that's your original thought, your original vision, father, and your original feeling, how you feel about that original thought. You know what I'm saying? That's Lilith. So you know what I'm saying? You want to keep them on a high horse. You want to keep them far out. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep them protected in some type of holy temple, holy household with gold floors. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful flowers and things around it in the yard. You want to keep that sacred. You don't want no other thoughts and other feelings that came from that, but they don't necessarily agree with Lilith and the father, and you don't want them coming breaking in the house, or you don't want these children to get older but never get out of the house and things of that nature so they can go expand. They constantly being negative and rebellious against your father and your Lilith, your original thought, your original feeling, and you not letting them go, letting them get out the house. You allowing them to dictate what's going on in the house and shit like that. You allowing them to control all your original thoughts and feelings, so all your intent go elsewhere, get redirected based upon these children children that you're taking care of, as far as you allowing them to have more authority and power over what you're supposed to have as far in your father and your Lilith energy, your original thought, your original feeling. You know what I'm saying? You allow that to dictate and control the children. And you let the little sons and daughters like, no, y'all come up with ideas and feelings on how to allow this to manifest. The moment they keep coming up with thoughts and feelings on how that thought, that original father thought ain't cool, that original Lilith feeling ain't cool, and why you need to be indecisive, why you need to be insecure, and why you need to think this way and that way. Okay, these motherfuckers are smelling their ass too much. You need to give them a motherfucking whooping or tell them to get the fuck out the crib in some way, shape, or form. They're smelling their motherfucking ass too much, and you need to take power and control over your motherfucking children. These are your children. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're not taking power and control over your children, you shouldn't have no children. AKA, you shouldn't have no vision and no feeling that come together, Father and Lilith, that come together and create a goal or an intent or a portal or an outcome that you actually want to see in your life as a conclusion. You shouldn't have no goals if every time you have sex with Father and Lilith and then you create children, but now they all demons though. They all come out rebellious, opposing thoughts and feelings to how you fucked and had them in the first place. You know, so as soon as you fucked and in your mind and had your masculine and feminine come together, right? That had an idea. Now, if you had children, many thoughts and feelings, right? Daughters and sons, right? But they don't help you manifest that original idea. They sit there and take the Father and Lilith and make them feel old and outdated and shit like that, and make them feel insecure, like they can't do nothing, like they're incapable in some way, shape, or form. That's you slowly but surely killing your internal parent. You see what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in motherfucking mind. And that takes us into motherfucking jump rope. And like I said, the ability to not allow thoughts and feelings to drift you away from what you originally wanted to do, aka mental gymnastics. And sometimes you have to jump over those thoughts and feelings on time. Thought, feeling, and don't let that feeling get you stuck in that one, and then you forget to jump. Now you cloudy thinking, or you forget to think clearly or something like that, and you forget to jump, and then now you prejudged about a circumstance in some way, shape, or form. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. And understanding mental jump ropes and things of that nature, like I said, that's if you want to even look at it in an analogy how I just broke it down as far as the Father and the Lilith, and you breaking this down as far as your children, and you allowing them to control what you got going on in your internal household. And that's when you start to manifest bullshit in your life and things of that nature, or childish like energies. And then last but not least, just for this one, is mad exercises in the motherfucker Esoteric Planet Fitness. But right now I gotta just get my hair done and shit like that, and a whole bunch of shit. But other than that, like I said, right, getting into motherfucking cardio, right? Now in cardio, right, the ability to burn off, because we know what we do when we're doing cardio, right? You're getting the blood moving. You're getting the organs moving. So they're getting ready to shed. They're getting ready to shed whatever was clogging on it and things of that nature. So for the most, as far as your muscles and your organs, right? Because once they start sweating, whatever was sticking on it, as far as the foods we eat, or, you know what I'm saying, the air we breathe based upon the geographical location and shit like that, a lot of that goes down into your skin, your nails, and hair and things of that nature. That boils down to your geographical location also and things of that nature. Peep game is a lot of things that sometimes one individual blood flow may make the organs react differently to the environment than another individual, the way their blood flow. You see what I'm saying? And then based upon the way that spirit move, it could cause a lot of detriment based upon that geographical location, or it could cause a lot of benefits in that geographical location. But you have to make sure you know what place you're in as a spirit to be able to maintain that circumstance, to see that outcome, so you can know what you're getting affected by and if it's negative or positive. But getting into motherfucking esoteric cardio, right? The ability to burn off dead weight, aka knowing what feelings, keyword, knowing what feelings you've been carrying with you since childhood via trauma, insecurities, or misconceptions of the world. And here's the thing, and working on not allowing these things to depress you. See, depress, it's like a compression. You know what I'm saying? When you too sluggish mentally, right? It's like you're compressed when physically You may have ate too much out of the day or something like that, right? So it puts you into a situation where we're talking about mental right now, right? When you have a lot of things on your mind and you're not doing these things as far as on the routine and pattern, as far as mental exercises and stuff like that, this is you just carrying a whole lot of dead weight and not burning these things off as far as putting the energy work in, things of that nature, and working on calories and shit like that. And that's the word I'm looking for. I was looking for that. I said cardio. That was a word that go with it. I couldn't think of the goddamn shit. There we go. But for the most part, like I said, the ability to burn off dead weight, aka knowing what feelings you've been carrying with you since childhood via trauma, insecurities, misconceptions of the world, and working on not allowing these things to depress you or take you back to a vulnerable space every day. You see what I'm saying? And that's cardio. You know what I'm saying? So every time you jump into these emotions and feelings and stuff like that, you start to burn it off. You know what I'm saying? You start to run. You know what I'm saying? You start to run like, oh, I'm running from that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I need to do some jumping jacks on that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Oh, I need to go hiking on that feeling. Or I need to go climb a mountain on that feeling. And this is all esoterically speaking. You know what I'm saying? Or I need to get on a treadmill on that feeling and shit like that. And that's you. Every time you get that depressing feeling coming back, you're running in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? You're burning it off. You know what I'm saying? You're making it chase you because you don't like to feel that way. So don't show the universe that you like to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But these feelings is like ghosts. So that Lilith's children is like ghosts. Lilith children, they're like ghosts. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. You could see the father children. That's like Lucifer and every other fucking names and all that shit. So keep that in motherfucking mind. Also, that's like the original thought. Anytime you have original thought about something, sometimes you might set it too much on a high horse. And if it falls short, the higher the high. You know what I'm saying? The harder to fall. That's like you getting let down in some way, shape, or form. But that's another video. But like I said, though, getting into the motherfucking energies of circumstances where, you know, cardio, you're burning that motherfucker shit off. You're putting yourself into a circumstance where every time that negative, depressing ass emotion and feeling come, you jump into, you doing some matrix shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You probably got your own kind of routine and shit going on and shit like that where you just boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, you know what I'm saying? That you might be esoterically just looking at these things like you in the Matrix and you dodging certain thoughts and feelings that used to bring you down, but they can't bring you down no more because you're in a different space in life. You know what I'm saying? Or it just might be you running because every time you see that emotion and feeling, you're like, oh shit, not today. Because we know anytime you stay in one place too long, one spot too long, it's like water being settled and it ain't moving in some way, shape, or form. And start to accumulate the negative smells, bacteria, parasites, and things of that nature. So anytime you're stuck into South Node energies, routines, and patterns too long, this is what you start to develop esoterically speaking. And a lot of times, if you create a cell for you like that, esoterically speaking, sometimes you can't run away from these ghosts. Sometimes you can't run. Sometimes you can't even really do cardio because it's too cloudy. It's too crowded. You got too much crowded. You can't even afford to go out to go to an esoteric Planet Fitness. You're too busy having to deal with your internal household because there's too much shit going on there. So you can't even separate from things and shit like that. So that's when things get foggy. And it really takes some motherfucker esoteric walking, esoteric jogging, you know what I'm saying? Esoteric leaping and shit like that. And track and field and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in motherfucking mind. Where a lot of times if you're not running from these depressing ass emotions and feelings, they got you. You know what I'm saying? Once a depressing ass feeling and emotion got you, Adams and Eves and thoughts and feelings and descendants and add on to that on how this makes sense, on how this need to be in this for a while. And then before you know it, you spent a large amount of your motherfucking life inside of that emotion and feeling that just brought you down because you wasn't going to the motherfucking esoteric Planet Fitness. And I love y'all from the motherfucking bottom of my heart. And we're going to get in more depth to this also. Getting into this motherfucking shit. Going to the esoteric Planet Fitness. So you can be, we got esoteric push-ups. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in motherfucking mind. And I love y'all from the motherfucking bottom of my heart. Ee-hee.